Since I returned from my 1 year of traveling, I decluttered a lot of things. That's why I needed a new and smaller backpack for my own personal one-bag life journey. That's why this video is all about my new 25-liter backpack for my own one-bag life journey, the Patagonia Stealth Backpack 25-liter. And at the end of the video, I will give you my single best tip on when you should think about a new backpack or suitcase for any kind of lifestyle, even if you're not pursuing a one-bag life, so don't miss out. If you're new here, I'm Sven, just an extreme minimalist one-bag lifer with less than 150 possessions and the desire to live his whole life out of just one carry-on sized backpack. So if you end up liking the video, don't forget to subscribe and like, but most important, share a comment with your thoughts at the end of the video. Check the weekly One Bag Life community post and join me on my journey towards a true one bag life. But I would say, let's get started. Have you recently changed your bag or suitcase, or are you planning to do so in the near future? As some of you might already have seen and also commented below my videos, I'm not showing my old backpack, the Patagonia Black Hole Mini MLC 30 liter, in my videos anymore. I show this Fjallraven Skole 20 liter instead, and that's because, as I already mentioned, I decluttered a lot of things since I came back from traveling for 1 year, and I didn't need 30 liters anymore. On the other hand, it took me a long time to find the perfect bag because a 20 liter is still too small for me. So I needed to find the perfectly sized bag around, I would say, 25 liter to fit all the needs that I have right now for my personal one-bag life. And that's why you won't see this bag anymore. You won't see the Patagonia Black Hole bag anymore. That's why for me, the perfect bag right now is the Patagonia Stealth Backpack 25 liter. So let's talk about why I chose the Patagonia Stealth Backpack 25 liter for my personal one-bag life journey and why I think it's for me the perfect 25 liter sized bag. So if we're starting from the outside, it had a couple of features. So you can see you have like a bungee tie net here where you can put some, I would say, wet things if you get drowned in the rain. You have some compression straps on the side, and you have a more or less, I would say, very comfortable harness system at the back with a little bit of ventilation, as you can see here. So you have a little bit of airflow on the back. And one of the things that I like the most about this bag is actually, even with a very small size, I would say, for 25 liters, it still has an included hip belt, which is not like these very thin straps. I don't know, maybe you saw them on some bags. It's still like a very thick hip belt, which can transfer a lot of weight to your hips if you need that. The only thing on the harness system that I personally would say is missing are load lifters. But to be honest, if you have a 25 liter bag or around 25 liter, it's not the most important thing to have load lifters because normally you won't pack that bag up with, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 kilos. So I would say this is fine. But as you can see, you have a lot of attachment points here. So if you have carabiners and you want to hang something, you have a lot of attachment points on this bag as well as on the front. You have a lot of loops that you can stick things through. You have a lot of these hooks, I don't know how they're actually called, but you have a lot of customization that you can do on this bag itself. And actually what I think nobody even chose this bag, or I don't see a lot of people chose this bag, is that it's actually not like a travel backpack or a hiking backpack or not marketing as one. It's actually a bag from Patagonia that is focused on fly fishing. So I'm not fly fishing, to be honest, but it has a lot of useful features for that as well. So when you open the hip belt, you can see you have these giant holes here in the bag where you can put some, I don't know, things for fly fishing down. So I don't use them, to be honest, but I think it's very handy if you can put something down there. You have two external water bottle holders that you can squeeze down with these bungee ties. So from the outside, I think it's a very practical bag, and as well, the fabric is made to be water repellent, maybe not water resistant, but water repellent, and also feels very good and very durable. So that is why in the first place I chose this bag, because it's very good from the outside and the exterior features are very nice. But maybe the most important thing that I was looking for in a new backpack is actually simplicity. I looked at a lot of bags, so I researched so many different bags that I was already confused what I was looking for. But in the end, I just wanted a simple bag that I can customize myself. So I don't like these bags that have like a lot of organization in it built to it, because I want to do the organization and not the bag should do it. So that's why this bag has only 3 big pouches. So at the front, you have a big zipper pouch, if you can see it. So it's like just like a big pouch that goes from almost from all the way to the top to all the way to the bottom right here. So you can stuff some things in there that are very quick to access. So for me, it will be the pouch where I put my rain jacket into, because if I need it, I can just zip it open and put the rain jacket or get the rain jacket out immediately. That's why I have this big giant, I would say, front pocket right here. And on the other hand, you have a quick access pocket with like every normal bag, I would say right now. You have a key leash if you need it. I actually never use it, but this is the place where I just normally put like my sunglasses or something else, or maybe some candy bars or whatever it is, whatever else it is. So this is a little handy pocket, but honestly, I don't use it for a lot of things. And one thing I wanted to mention, which was very important to me, because one other downside I would say is that you actually can't really lock the zippers on this bag, because maybe you can see it, it is only like the loops and they are made from fabric and not like metal loops. So one nice feature I would say are actually these compression straps, because when you compress the bag down, you can see that when you put these zippers all the way down here, you can't just zip the bag open, because you would always like hang on these compression straps. So it's like a little bit of safety, I would say, I would guess. So then it's fine for me that you can't lock the zippers if it's not that easy to open it anyways. So just as a reminder that it's a little bit it's not unsafe, but it's a little bit of safety that it's added here because of the compression straps. So if we then open the compression straps, we can go into the main compartment. And as you can see, my last bag or my last bags that I used were always like these clamshell bags that open fully either way this side, so in this direction, or as a suitcase opening. This time I chose not to do it, because I realized that most of the things that I carry are packed in packing cubes. So I always try to find a good system to pack my things, and I always have one packing cube with the clothes that I know I won't use as often on that trip or for that occasion, and I have another packing cube full of clothes that I know I will wear regularly. So it's not a problem for me that it's not like these big clamshell opening, so I can just put one packing cube down at the bottom where I know I don't use it as often, and put the rest on top. One thing that I technically I don't miss it, but it's a thing to consider, is actually that you don't have like a dedicated sleeve for a tablet or a laptop in here. So you can maybe see it in here. It's like a second sleeve that you can put some things that goes all the way almost down here. So you actually don't have a false bottom, if you know. So if you put your laptop in here and the bag drops to the ground, there is not a lot of protection. So that's maybe interesting to know. But for me, it's totally fine. I have a tablet and it's always protected by a case. So I can just shove it in here and it's totally fine for me. So I don't need a dedicated like laptop sleeve or laptop back panel here. And I also like that in this bag, this sleeve is in the inside of the main compartment, because some of you might already have bags where you can have an extra compartment for your laptop or for your tablet, which I think is okay, but I definitely prefer it if it's in the inside of the main compartment, which gives me a little bit more peace of mind and security, I would say, when it comes to valuables like a tablet or laptop. On the other hand, you can see there's like a mesh pouch here. I honestly don't know how I will use it, if I ever will use it, because as I said, most of my things are inside of my packing cubes. But to be honest, I will store most of the things in the main compartment down here and fill it up to the top. So that's why I actually think it's the perfect bag. And the other handy feature that I already mentioned before is when you pack this bag up, that you still have some compression straps that you can size down the bag even more. Because I know I won't load this bag up to the brim in 99% of the situation, so I still have the chance to size it down even a little bit more. And I can tell you right now, I don't actually have the right specs, so the right dimensions of the bag, but this is definitely 100% carry-on friendly, I would say, carry-on friendly for most of the airlines you will find. Some of them might even give this like a personal item thing, but I don't think so. It's a little bit too big for a personal item. But most of the airlines will have this as a carry-on item. So this comes in very handy. As I mentioned, I can just wrap it up very quickly. I just chose it because it's a very comfortable harness system, because you have the hip belt that it's included, which I think it's always a very good thing. You have a very simple and easy to handle bag, not a lot of pockets, not a lot of organization. You have a very big stash pocket here at the front where you can put your quick access items things into. You have the big main compartment, you have the compression straps, and you even have these zip ties on the water bottle holders, which I think it's very handy if you want to put some small things in there, maybe something to eat or so, and on the other hand you can just as normally put your water bottle inside. So that's why I chose this bag in the first place. And I know that not every bag is perfect for everybody. As I said, if I could make some suggestions, I would love to have some load lifters up here, even if they would be small. I would have a ladder system, that adjustable sternum strap. So here you have these loops for your sternum strap. And I think these rail systems where you can just switch it without putting it outside and putting it down or whatever is much better than this system. Also, it could be a little bit more padded on the shoulders, I think, because I guess when you carry this thing for a longer time, it will be comfortable 100%, but I always think a little bit more padding on the shoulders won't hurt anybody. So this is that thing. And on the other hand, I would say it's a perfectly fine bag for almost every occasion, even if you're not fly fishing as Patagonia is intended it to be. So yes. That are the reasons why I chose this bag, why it's the perfect one bag life bag for me right now. 25 liters, all the things that I need, all the bells and whistles that I want to have in a very simple package. And that's why I switched from my Patagonia Black Hole MLC Mini 30 liter to this Patagonia Stealth Backpack 25 liter. As you can see, the Patagonia Stealth Backpack 25 liter is a very simple and easy to use bag, which fits all my needs that I have right now on my journey towards a true one bag life. It doesn't have all the fancy things maybe some other much more expensive bags would have, but that's one of the main reasons why I chose this bag. But now that you know how my perfect 25 liter backpack, the Patagonia Stealth Backpack 25, for my personal one bag life journey looks like, here is my single best tip when you should consider getting a new backpack for every kind of lifestyle, even if you're not pursuing a one bag life. And that is either when you use your bag to the maximum, or just some couple or just a few features of the bag. And what I mean with that is simple. If I take this bag for example, if I always, for every occasion I would go to, travel, EDC, whatever it is, would load out this bag to the maximum, it would definitely be too small for my needs at the moment. Because I always try to find bags that have like a little bit of space left in case I need something else when I'm especially traveling. You never know what happens. So having an extra amount of space is always very important in my opinion. So if you fill it up to the maximum, it's definitely too small and you should think about getting a new one. On the other hand, if you buy a very tactical bag or a bag with a lot of pouches and a lot of organization, but in the end you don't use any of that because you maybe, as I do, use a lot of packing cubes, then the bag won't fit your needs as well. Because then you pay a lot of extra money for extra fabric, extra zippers, extra organization, and you don't use it at all. So I would always suggest getting a bag that fits the needs that you have right now, especially when it comes to the features. So if you want a more or less featureless bag, get a featureless bag and don't pay extra for the features that you won't use. So these are the 2 points where I would say this is worth considering a new bag if you use it to the maximum and you don't have any space to play, and if you just use a few features and pay a lot of more money than you should on a, I would say, simple bag. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and like, but most important, leave a comment with your favorite bag or suitcase at the moment down below. And also don't forget about the weekly One Bag Life community post. The next video will be about how I finally got under 100 possessions for my own personal one bag life. In the meantime, you can watch my last video where I show you what skills you will learn when you start pursuing a one bag life. But as always, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.